All right. Selling leadership advantages. Selling leadership takes the traditional consultative selling process and augments it with relationship, team building, as well as concepts of integrity, vision to be adhered to by the company, and the addition to value that the customer finds in the proposed solution. As we've discussed, your industry is extremely non-standard. The applications are extremely non-standard. This is a complex, systemic, non-standard industry, and the professionals in it need to operate at a robust and professional level. The sales process for selling technical products in terms of philosophy is the same as selling other products and services. Our obligation as sales managers, our obligation as managers, our obligation as sales professionals is to learn, is to take that technical acumen that you've developed, that ability to understand your product, to understand the customer's application, and to take those personal skills that need to be developed, those team building relationship issues that need to be developed, and turn those into skills. Engineers, selling to engineers is difficult, and you know this because engineers like to remain anonymous. I don't know if you've noticed that. They like emails. They don't like to give out names. They love lead systems because they can ask for information without having to get in front of a salesperson. So engineers, as a general rule, like to just like the data, just like the facts, just like to be able to do that. But you need to, as sales professionals, as technical salespeople, you need to understand that. You need to understand what they need and how they need it. They are very specific about what the things are. But at the same time, you need to break that barrier of them wanting to avoid sleazy salespeople. They need to know that you're there to help them. I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. They need to know that you are there to help them, to add value to their day. So, technical sales, it requires sales skills, but we as salespeople, sales managers, need to develop the personality side of selling. As I said, the consultative sales process and personality skills, we're going to take a real quick, because that's what this conversation is about, but we're going to take a real quick look at what leadership, not selling, leadership has to do with our lives. John Maxwell came up with the 5 levels of leadership. They include 1, position, 2, permission, 3, production, 4, people development, and the last one is pinnacle. They are built one on top of the other. You can't go to level 2 if you haven't mastered level 1. You can't go to level 4 if you haven't done level 3. So they all build on top of each other. And I'm going to give you a real quick idea of what these 5 levels mean for leadership. You have position. You have attained rights and authority that are attributable to someone granted by their position. That's all you have. Your influence to dictate and to your ability to influence by dictate only. It comes with your position. It comes with your title. People follow you only because they have to. Position is an ineffective substitute for influence. Level 1 managers are the worst you can deal with. How many of you have dealt with managers who say, "Do it because I say so"? You know? How many of you work for one just like that? And they're in the back of the room. Just so you know, they saw your hands. They're terrible managers. They like to influence because they have status. They like to tell you what to do, not why to do it. Number 2 is permission. You've earned the ability to establish relationships. Once you've gotten into your position and can start communicating with people, you have the ability to establish relationships with the people around you, those that work for you, and with you. Time, at permission level, time, energy, and focus are placed on the needs and desires of the individual. It is the first real step into leadership because leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. These relationships lay the groundwork for all the preceding steps. We can't get to the next step until we're able to communicate effectively and listen effectively to the people around us. Production. This is where the team leader enables... This is where the effective leader enables the team to pull together and to solve problems. They work one with another. They create solutions by instilling their vision, one that meets the desired outcome of the team. Not only are they productive individually, but they are productive as a team. The leader takes responsibility for the outcome of the team. Leaders can give up anything except responsibility. They don't look for scapegoats. They don't look for excuses. They look for production. They look for answers, and they work through the team to be able to get there. People development. Good leaders invest time, energy, and money and focus into growing others, developing people, compounds the positives. Developing the individual, growing the individual helps the team. The team succeeds. Take responsibility for their actions and others and dedicate themselves to serving and adding value to others. And then the final step is reaching the pinnacle. And as Maxwell says, very rare that a person gets there. They have to have a certain sense of natural ability to be able to lead. And they become bigger than the organization they're in. And I guarantee you all know people like this. You all know people in this industry that are bigger than the industry. You know people in your company that are bigger than your company. That's because, not just because they're smart, but because they add value to you, to the organization, and everyone around it. So you're asking, what does discussion about leadership have to do with technical sales? I'm here to suggest to you that the leadership skills draw a striking resemblance to effective selling skills that we profiled earlier. If we take a look at the concepts of sales leadership and the 5 levels of leadership, we'll draw some interesting comparisons. I'm not going to go through that list. I can't even see that list. But you're talking about titles and discovery and effective communication and problem solving, team vision, integrity, all those sorts of things that we talked about in effective selling leadership. Talk about the 5 values or the 5 levels of leadership. Again, the right to the position, the right of a title, no influence, permission, the ability to talk, to understand. Production is where the rubber hits the road. This is where we're creating. This is where we're developing. This is where we're coming up with solutions. Personnel development, responsibility to others, responsibility to customers, responsibility to the team. All those sorts of things. Again, I'm not going to read it, but you can find an interesting parallel to these same topics. These same functions, these same capabilities in effective leadership match with effective selling. The ability to compare those two gives us some effective capabilities, not only in selling, but in the way that we conduct our business and our job. The concepts are very closely resemble to each other. When salespeople are effective, they are showing leadership. They are showing responsibility. They are showing personal relationship. They have the ability to sell the technical side of it. You do that. They have that. You have people training back there. You have product. Specialists back there. They can train people on the technical side of it. What they're out there doing is selling leadership as much as they are selling the products and services. Selling is leadership. Leadership is selling. Both are relationship, vision, and purpose-based. Now, we've talked about my status. We've talked about your position. My diagnosis for your industry is it's complex. Your customers are not the same one to the other. The solutions are not the same one to the other. You need a way to understand their reality as opposed to your reality. You need to come up with effective technical solutions to their problems. That's my diagnosis. The value, or my vision for us today, and we haven't spent the time to talk. We haven't built a relationship. So I can only give you part of what I believe is the vision for us to be here and for the industry. To find the challenges that you and your company face in becoming leaders in your industry. We talked about who thinks their company is a leader? Everybody put their hand up, right? Are you acting? Why do you say that? Because it sounds good? It doesn't. It sounds good to you. It doesn't sound good to the person who has the problem. You think you're technology leaders? Customer doesn't care. You think you're low price? This is where we get this. We skew vision or value and price. You think you're the low price leader? Okay. Reasonable business model. Has nothing to do with value. The value is what the customer accepts as his reality, as your solution to their problem. Sometimes it's price. Sometimes it's price. And we all know people out there like that. We all know companies out there like that who sell to the penny, right? Their sole purpose in life, it seems, is that they want to sell to the lowest price. We talked about that last night. We talked about the need of selling to a U.S. marketplace as opposed to an international marketplace. We talked about that last night. For some companies, it's easier to sell into foreign countries because they want quality. They're willing to pay for quality. We have this interesting notion that if we get it from China, the customers will want it because it costs less. Okay? Again, that's a motivator. That's a driver for some customers. But in the long run, it affects your credibility to do your job. Your integrity suffers when you provide something that's low cost and lacks in quality. Because they'll say, regardless, they will say, well, so-and-so brought that piece of junk in here, and I've had to replace it 5 times. The vision for the company, my vision, is successfully growing the leadership capabilities of everyone within your organization, turning you into lid lifters. The lid lifters, people put lids on the ability of their company to grow, their ability to be profitable. For example, if you try to hold somebody down, if you pull down on them, you pull yourself down. You need to stop thinking about lid lifters. Value proposition. Empower your salespeople to build strong relationships with your customers, vendors, and clients. enabling your salespersons to build lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with everyone on the team. My value proposition today is to add value to everyone here and to help you add value to everyone in your organization. Takeaway thoughts. Successful sales, technical sales requires finding persons who are willing and capable of merging technical acumen with the willingness and desire to build relationships and add value to others. As sales managers, it is our responsibility to cultivate and develop salespersons and internal teams with personal knowledge, skill sets. Final thoughts. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. There are universal truths between selling effectively and leadership capabilities within your organization. The leadership principles applied to effective salesmanship are the basis for effective leadership in individuals, groups, teams, and entire organizations. Sell leadership wherever you go. Add value to whatever you do. And develop people wherever you are. That's it. I've taken up too much time. I appreciate if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can pick up a business card, and I'll be happy to answer your questions for you later. Thank you.
How about if we take a break now and everybody be back at 10:15? That'll put us a little bit ahead of schedule, but that should work out just fine. So see you all at 10:15.